Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page here. Hopefully, I can clear up any confusion for you guys about how to transition from the classes you're signing up for on Target Solutions to the actual enrollment into a degree if you want to do that. So some of you are taking classes with Braxton for your fire officer, whether that be fire officer one, fire officer two, safety officer, whichever classes you're doing. And that's fine. You can continue to do that. Sign up in your same mechanism that you've been doing with your department. They send us the names, you take the course, you obtain the certificates. When you do that, just keep in mind that those certificates I keep separate. So with the college, we have our own student software. So students that are enrolled in the college have a lot of their demographics. They have to apply. All of their documents are uploaded into our system. If you're only taking fire officer classes and have never enrolled in the actual college, I keep that separate, almost like just on a spreadsheet, so I can communicate with your compliance and your training to make sure that you've completed that. So that is completely separate. That does not mean it won't apply to a degree. It just means you're not in our system. So if you happen to call school and say, I completed Tactics 1, or I want to know how many fire officer classes I've completed, they're not going to have that record. You're not in our system. It'd be very similar to any other college. If Palm Beach State did a class for you, unless you enrolled in their college, you're not in the student software. So we do maintain it. We still have records of everything everybody's taken. But when you want to now transfer that into a degree, regardless of the degree, the first thing you need to do is apply to our college. So if you go to braxton.edu and you're going to be taken to the homepage here, all you need to do is click apply and ask you very basic information. You're going to fill all that out. Which program are you applying to? And I'll cover each of those real quickly here so you have an idea. And we have 2 different associate's degrees, EMS and fire, and 3 different bachelor's degrees. So you're going to apply for whichever degree you're interested in doing. When that takes place, after that, there's a $100 registration fee for you to apply into school. It's a non-refundable registration fee. Once you're in, you're in. All you need to do now is upload certain documents. We're going to ask for your high school diploma, your social security, your driver's license. Remember, those are compliance things for not only state of Florida Department of Education, but accrediting bodies as well. So there'll be a series of documents that you're going to need to upload yourself, not a picture of something on your lap. You're going to scan it and upload it as a PDF document. Also, we will need official transcripts of anything you're bringing in. So we'll start with the fire science degree, which is a large majority of you. If you're going into a fire science associate's degree, let me open that up for you. If we're looking at this degree, okay, our fire science, the core of this program is EMT and firefighter. So that means we need your official transcript for your EMT and your firefighter, not a diploma, not your license, not anything else. So you need to contact those schools and have them send official transcripts either to me electronically or mailed to the school directly. Either one is acceptable, but it cannot come from the student. That's not allowed. The only way that that would be permitted is if you had a sealed envelope, stamped official transcripts, and you hand delivered those. Then we can accept them. But we cannot accept an email from you of transcripts. It has to come from the school. So once you transfer these in, the fire science program is these 5 general education courses and any 4 of these fire electives. Okay, down here, 12 credits. So some of you are taking other classes, SERP, health and safety, incident safety. Those are not currently part of our degree program. That doesn't mean they're not of value to you, but these are the elective portions of the fire science degree. So there's 5 classes here and 4 here, 9 total classes. You must take at least 5 of those 9 with Braxton College. That accounts for 25% of the overall program content. That's an accreditation requirement. you have to take 25% of the program with the degree issuing institution. So if you have EMT and fire someplace else, you didn't take it with Braxton, and you have English and algebra and maybe psychology, you're still fine. You could take 4 of the electives that are required, and then you still have 2 general educations left. So you'll be fine. Now, if you have all 5 general education, you're going to end up having to take one again. There is no other way. You can't take 7 or 6 electives and then count towards gen eds. You have to complete 5 of those classes with us. And that, again, is not a Braxton rule. It's an accreditation rule. It would be the same in any institution you go to. So now EMS, for those that are interested in the EMS degree, the core of that, the EMT and paramedic alone, accounts for 45 credits of the overall degree. That is actually 75% of the total content of this degree. We would not be able to accept any other transfer other than EMT and paramedic. So this is great for those that don't have any general education, never taken an English or algebra, because we require these 4 classes, 1 of these, and 1 elective. We normally steer people towards this computers because it counts also toward the fire degree, and it also counts towards the bachelor's should you move on. So you would have to take 6 classes with us, and we would not be able to transfer in anything else. So normally when you contact me, if you have any type of transfer of gen eds, I'm probably going to steer you to the fire degree. But if you don't, either one is open. Okay, so you could do that. If you choose to move on to a bachelor's degree, this is our bachelor's degree. This is public administration. I'll show you healthcare real quick, but you can transfer in up to 90 credits of this 120 credits. That's 75%. Your EMT and paramedic count, or EMT and fire, count on the bottom here for your 24 credits of elective. You'll see there is no elective heading here. That's done by licensure. And that's the same for public administration or healthcare administration. So you would need 9 credits, all 3 Englishes, all 3 maths, all 3 histories, all 3 social sciences, and then these 60 credits of core. So if you have English, algebra, psychology, a history, a mishmash of different things, those can apply here. And then we kind of bring you down into this core program. And again, the same Canvas platform, it's still 1-month classes. Obviously, when you reach the bachelor's level, a little bit more writing, a little bit more research to get this done. So you could take 1 class at a time. You could take 2 classes at a time. You can even take 3, but that's a very strong workload. But 2 classes at a time is very doable. So say Palm Beach County puts out, that they're going to be doing conflict resolution this month. You can sign up for conflict resolution, and maybe we're also offering budgeting. And you say, you know what, I want to take both, and you're going to sign up yourself and then go through the tuition reimbursement. So that can happen too. Okay, so you can go either avenue. And I see, I'll get you in 1 second, Ed. When you only signed up classes through Target Solutions, remember, Palm Beach County sends me that list on the Friday before the classes start. So we just got the list for the classes that are going to start in 2 days. You're still not in our system. So I need some communication from you saying, hey, I'm enrolled in your degree program. I just signed up for English and algebra. So I can put you in to Orabund as well, which is our student software. So your transcripts are always accurate. So again, that's on our end, but it's going to take some communication. So we're not waiting till you're all done for you to say, I'm finished with my degree, and we have to go enter all of these things into our system. So it will take some communication. You all have access to this. You could cross these off as you go and make sure you're signing up for the right classes. I don't want you to sign up for classes that may or may not even apply to the degree if you're degree seeking. Okay. Ed, you have a question? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
So when you say, so I'm doing the bachelor's, this one right here that you're showing.
Okay.
and I did my associates with Braxton
Okay,
for EMS. And you say, so I have to do all the required classes except for the ones I did in my associates, correct?
correct. Yeah. So your English, your algebra, your psychology, will all apply already. Your
Okay. And then
speech, public speaking here, that'll apply. So that's already done.
okay. And then for the program core content, when you say 24 elective credits, can you pick so that 24, does that go towards the program core content or how does that work?
So all bachelor's degrees are 120 credit hours. So these components right here, these four boxes are 36 plus 60. The elective is 24. That's your EMT and paramedic. So those won't apply to these specific classes. That's the whole 120. So if you're coming in with EMT, paramedic, English, algebra, probably a psychology, so you're coming in with 32, 35, 38 credits, then what I do is if you have any other courses that you might have taken that you believe, so major incident response, ICS 300 and 400 satisfy that class. So if you have those, we would remove this or transfer that in. Speech, you already have that, so that would be in there. Maybe some of you are taking personnel management in the fire service, which is an FO3 or 4 class. That would cover human resources management. So we would work together to make sure that any possible transfer credit would apply, right? And then you would just say, well, I know I need conflict resolution. I know I'm going to need budgeting. I know I need marketing. So as those classes are offered, with, if Palm Beach puts them up there, then you can sign up appropriately. But remember, we offer these classes quite often also. So you could work both with the ones that Palm Beach are listing, and you could also work with your tuition reimbursement policy where you could sign up in advance, submit the paperwork, get the class, pay for the class, complete the class, submit the grade, get reimbursed up to your $5,000 a year, in addition to what's already being offered in Target Solutions. So you have, I don't want you to just wait to what they're putting out. You can, and it might be one class a month, and it would take you. Remember, this is one class a month. There's 20 here, so you're at 20 months just to accomplish this column right here. Okay, now remember, associates to bachelor's is normally a 2-year transition. So you're not too far off if you stay on that pace. Some of you say, I want to get done in 15 months. Well, that's possible. Then we're going to need to work together on not only what Palm Beach may be posting, but what we're offering as well. In addition to that, that you may say, this month I want to take 2 classes. Or, I know I'm pretty free in the summertime, June, July, August, I want to take 2 a month. We'll work together and I'll get you signed up for those. And again, some of you have contacted me saying, hey, I'm signed up for public administration and Palm Beach just posted it. So I'm gonna sign up through them. There's nothing you need to do on our end. You're already signed up for it. Sign up through Palm Beach so I can bill them and take it off of your invoice. So you don't need to withdraw from ours to sign up to there. It's going to go into the same system. So you don't need to do that. Um, the biggest thing would be you communicating with me, hey, this is what I've signed up for this month and next month. We could be proactive in putting you into Orbun so you can see your transcripts and see what's completed, what's in progress. So you could track it accordingly, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. So email you all the classes that I signed up for through our work.
That'd
And
be
then,
perfect. And what I'll do, Ed, is I'll go into Orbun, which is here. Okay. Now this is Mickey Mouse. So I would say, okay, Ed, you have 5 classes here. All of our classes, when I click on it, and I can look at this term. This is our term right here, bachelor's. So here's all of our bachelor's classes for this one term. You guys may see 4 because that's all Palm Beach is putting out. So this coming class, the 22nd, this is more for our BSN. This is for healthcare and BSN. This is healthcare. This is public admin. This is public admin. So say Palm Beach only offered one of those. I could say, well, we have another. Next month, we have Algebra 2, English 2. which all of our degrees need. Well, Palm Beach may only list one. I don't know what you guys are the only ones that can see Target Solutions. So I don't know what they're offering in November. So you can always communicate with me, say, listen, I signed up for College Algebra 2. Is there anything else that I could take and go through our educational reimbursement? And I can get you into English 2 and cross one more off of your list. Or you just say, hey, just let you know I signed up for College Algebra 2 next month. And then when it gets to next term in January, I signed up for leadership or human resources or whatever they've posted. So what I can do then is say, oh, you're going to take leadership. I click on it. I put you in the class. That way, when it comes around, your grade goes in there. And now when you're looking at your live transcripts, they're always accurate. Otherwise, I'm keeping them completely separate. You're not in this system. And this is
Yeah.
what's going to be important when you go to graduate. All of those have to be in here. So that's why I'm saying for all of you guys, the earlier that you can enroll in the degree program, the earlier we can make sure your transcripts are in here. I put in your EMT and paramedic or firefighter, whatever it is. And that goes for associates or bachelors, it doesn't matter. Because sometimes it takes a little bit to get your transcripts. If you have a school that's closed, you went to a school, you're going to go to the Department of Education and request your transcripts. It's going to take a few weeks. That doesn't mean you can't take English and algebra and everything in the meantime, but it means we can't graduate you until those official transcripts are received. So if you wait till the very end and say, hey, I'm done, but we don't have your EMT because you went to a school that closed, we're going to be waiting for weeks for the state to get that to us, then finally apply them and then graduate you. So I want to make sure you're ahead of the ballgame. If your intent is to have a degree, get enrolled, start uploading all of the documents, and that way we can stay on top of it so there's no problems moving forward in the future. Because I don't want you to be frustrated when you're calling the office. Hey, how close am I to my degree? And they're like, you're not even in our system. You're not enrolled here. So you do need to enroll, and that way I can put you into our system when you call someone in the office. And say we can go back and look at Mickey Mouse. When you guys sign up for a class, sometimes their transcripts, these classes will show right up. This is in progress. IP is in progress. So if you say, I signed up for this in January, I signed up this in February, I can put these in. So when you pull your transcripts up, you'll see what you have upcoming, and now it's accurate. Or sometimes we pull this up and there's 2 classes on here, but you've taken 10 with us. I have to go back and log in. I first have to enroll you in a class, then I have to put your final grade in, and then it shows up here. Well, that takes a while if you have a handful of classes and there's a lot of you that want the same thing, right? So the more proactive we are, the easier it will be for you, and the more accurate your transcripts are going to be at any time. So you can always just grab your unofficials at any time, but it needs to be accurate. And we can communicate. You can email me and say, hey, I'm in your degree program. I looked at my transcripts and there's only 2 classes there. It doesn't take me real long when we're working one-on-one to get it done. It does take a little bit if 10 of you all want your transcripts updated because you're all 10 going to graduate. So I just wanted to make sure that we're being proactive and you understand that process. Target Solutions does not communicate with anything in the school. That is your own internal thing. I don't have access to it. I don't see it. Captain Torlucci sends me an email of a spreadsheet, like I said, the Friday before the classes start. So I don't know what you have options for in January, February, March. All I can tell you is if you call me and say, I need to know what I need, I'm going to most likely steer you to something like this and say, here's our program. You know what you have already by looking at Orbund, or I can tell you that. And then you say, well, I know I'm going to need psychology. I know I'm going to need sociology. As soon as they're available, I'm clicking on them and I'm going to lock myself in, and then you'll be okay. If that makes sense. So I want you to stay on top of that so you can make sure that you're kind of tracking your own path. Very similar to any other college that you get a degree program and then you go online and register for your own classes. Well, that's what you're doing, but you're doing it on Target Solutions, which doesn't communicate with us. So you need to communicate with us. That's all. And make sure that our transcripts are accurate at the end. I am
Okay.
keeping track though. I can tell you, I have all of you and all of the classes you're taking and everything everyone is taking. So I have every student with every class that we're taking back from 2001 when we started this. So I have tracks, and where you see greens, those are ones that I've already put into Orbund for people that are in degree programs. So that I have everybody's history. So you don't need to worry about that, but you do need to worry that it's up to date in our system, which is what the most important thing is for a degree. If you're only after fire officer, there's nothing else you need to do. Keep going into Palm Beach, sign up, you get your certificate, you take your fire officer. But I would implore most of you and the people at your stations. So some of you may take prevention practices, tactics one, course delivery, building construction, and company officer. You want to go get your fire officer one. Well, you've already satisfied the whole elective portion of this degree. Everyone has firefighter and EMT that works for you. All so if you've already taken those 4 classes with us, you only are required to take 5 minimum. You could transfer in English and algebra and speech and psychology and maybe be one more class away from an associate's in fire. Even if you have a bachelor's, it's one class. So a lot of them are taking it for fire officer. They could get an additional degree if they have gen eds because they're already taking 4 required classes with us. If you don't have any gen eds, then you're 5 classes away after your fire officer, 1 or 2, and all of those are here.
So
So
when you say the 60 credits are the AS is 60 credits and then a BS is another 60 credits.
correct.
So how come you have to take 60 plus 36 credits according to
Not all 36. Remember, because in the fire associate's degree, these are all fire classes. They don't apply to a bachelor's in public administration. Our bachelor's degrees are administrative degrees. So, your course delivery is not going to apply to a public administration. Your English will, your algebra will, your speech will, psych, sociology, those will. Computers will. So those are all part of this course. So you have English, algebra, psychology, sociology, public speaking. So those do apply. But since this is an administrative degree, tactics, those types of things. Now, if this was a bachelor's in fire science, then they probably would. But we don't have that. And the reason that we don't, my personal opinion, as we met with the board, it's very hard when you're looking at administrative degree to have a tunnel program into one avenue. If you took public administration, you could do a lot of different things. If you have a bachelor's in fire science, you're doing fire science. You can't take that to any other industry. So even though this is geared toward a lot of what we do, like municipal governments, grants, major incident management, but they're not geared towards fire tactics or operations. So there is some repetition, or there's some classes that you're going to take on associate's level that won't apply to the bachelor's level.
Yeah.
That's why there's going to be a little bit more or a little less than 60 transferred because your EMT and fire here satisfy this 24 credits of electives. So no matter what, if you did the associates, you'd have 24, 27, 30, and another 9. So you'd have 39 of the 60 would carry over instead of
Okay.
60.
Okay. So I have to do everything on that spreadsheet except the ones that I'm did for my associates.
Correct. Unless you have, except for probably major incident management, if you have ICS 300 and 400. If
So I
you've
send you-
taken maybe something at the National Fire Academy, which does a lot of leadership classes like that, we can't take certificates of things. It has to be accredited schools. National Fire Academy counts. So if you're in some of those larger classes that it's 45-hour long, that may apply to leadership principles or something like that, then communicate with me if we can bring it in. Trust me, I'd rather help you to reduce your ability. You're better to us as a graduate in this program. I want you to get through. I want to try and get all of the roadblocks from you, but there's only so much that we could bring in. that may
Yeah.
apply. Most firefighters send me transcripts, and I have rope rescue and trench, and I'm like, that's not going to apply at a bachelor's level, just to anyone's bachelor's level. And healthcare is, some apply to a healthcare
But for the S
administrative
three
degree.
hundred and 400,
What's that? So
hello?
our healthcare, some people look into healthcare because they're interested in EMS and medicine. Healthcare administration is exactly that. Administrative healthcare, mostly hospital. You can see legal aspects, um, legal and medical aspects, healthcare coverage, quality improvement in healthcare. So some start this and say, whoa, this is not really what I'm looking for. Now, some of you may leave, or when you retire, you're going to go work for a hospital system or in management, international healthcare. That's a great avenue for you. So it is an option, and some do mix. So English, algebra, psychology, sociology. There are some classes like conflict resolution, human resources. So in your bachelor's in public administration, you may have students. If you're taking conflict resolution, you may have students in a different program taking conflict resolution with you. Same with our BSN program. They'll all be combined. Every time we offer that class, we put them all together. So you have a different dynamic in the classroom. So some overlap, but not a ton. And then if any of you are nurses, the BSN program does overlap as well. Does anyone have any questions? I don't see any hands raised. Unfortunately, we sent this out to like 200 people. And that's fine if you don't have any questions. I just wanted to make sure as you're taking classes, I just want you to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but to basically generate your own path. To make sure if your goal is a degree, then we need to be involved in that process as early as possible so we can get all the documents we need. And then you're going to continue to do the coursework, but at least then it's being applied properly and you're just not out in no man's land. We're communicating a little bit better. And I can tell you, don't forget, hey, you need a history, you need these history classes in our bachelor's degree, and it's offered, only once a year, and it's coming up in these months. If Palm Beach isn't offering it, do you want to take it also? So those are the things that we can communicate, and I can guide you. If it's the fire science, pretty straightforward. You need these 5 and your fire officer 1 or 2. So those are very easy to follow, but once you get into the bachelor's, there's a lot of moving parts. And I want to make sure that you don't take classes that you don't need. And you might even have applicable credit for it. So I don't want you to have to go through these things twice.
Okay, so I should email you to check to see what classes you have going on that month on your school side
Sure,
to see if
sure. And you're already enrolled in the bachelor side?
I enrolled this week. I don't think
Okay.
it's finalized yet, but yeah.
And you'll be working, I see Beth is on here, so they'll be following up with you to make sure that any of your documents that are pending are uploaded. And then they'll
Yeah.
tell me, okay, hey, Ed signed up, he's clear to go on his bachelor's degree. Then what I'll do, Ed, is I go back to this spreadsheet here, I find you, and I put all of those classes into your Orbund account. So now we are up to date. And then now moving forward, you say, hey, I'm taking this class, this class, this class. And I can send you our list of classes for 2024. It's pretty simple for us when we do when we have these. They're not really on our website only because they could change, but normally they do not.
Yeah, that'd be
So our
great.
classes, let's see, sure. Okay, good. So this is our classes for 2024. So you can see we have things for associates of fire science, associates for EMS, bachelors. So we're offering all of these classes. On your target solutions, you may see 3, and this doesn't include fire officer. So you may just see 3. Well, I can tell you, hey, Ed, hey, there's a history here. I know you're going to need it. You want me to add that? Okay. But then you're going to have to go through your tuition reimbursement. They may only put they're not going to put major incident. They may put leadership as the only course offering in January, but there's other options for you if you want them. If you just want to go with what Palm Beach does, so you don't have to go through the tuition reimbursement policy, perfectly fine. Keep doing that, but it may not be enough, or there might miss some months. Because there'll be classes like here, okay? The ones with asterisks, we only offer one time a year. That history we just added. So say they put public policy development, you may not know that history is available. Same with here. Community economic development, it's for the public admin, it's only offered once. US History 2 is only offered once per year. They may only put one class out. So if you want to be proactive, there's an opportunity that you can be, but it's going to take us a lot of communication to do that. Okay.
Okay. Is there a cap on the amount of time it takes to
No.
get your BS?
No, we just don't. The only thing would be a gap because we don't have a leave of absence. So if you say, "Oh, I'm not taking classes for the next 3 months," you could be
We just got a
withdrawn. You
call,
have
so
to
I'll step
re-enroll.
out.
But yeah, if you do one at a time and it takes you, 2.5 years, that's fine. That's okay. But we can't guarantee what they're posting will
We
align with
just
what
got a
exactly you need.
call, so I have to step out. Thank you, though.
What's that? Sorry, did you have a question I
Bill,
missed?
we just got a call, so I have to step out.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? All right.
Can you hear me?
You guys, go ahead.
I don't know. I think I missed the beginning. As far as signing up, I know you said to apply for the bachelor's. Even though I already knocked out a couple classes.
It's okay.
When I do apply, it's going to take me. Will I be in the system and then I can turn in my transcript and everything, and I can update?
Yes, you can turn in your transcript anytime, but we won't be able to put it in there until you're in our system. So if you go to braxton.edu and click on apply, when you click on it, it'll take you to basically a fill in the field. You're gonna click which program you want, and then once it's in there, we'll start uploading your stuff. Once you're in our system, and once if we receive transcripts, we upload them for you on there onto your system, onto Orbund.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. And then you would communicate with me, or admissions will communicate with me saying, this student is good to go. I'll go back to the spreadsheet, upload everything you've taken already, and then at least we're starting from scratch and everything is accurate. And then moving forward, we'll just communicate.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Do you have anything to add, Beth? Nope. All right. Okay. Well, thank you guys. We'll record it. I'm going to send this video out to that whole listserv again. Hopefully that helps people, and we'll go from there.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you guys.